So once you have an object on the ground, it comes out at a standard size. These boxes, for example, they come out, and if you look at the corners, it'll say it's 20 by 20. That's in millimeters. And you are going to want to change these sizes when you get them out. It's fairly easy to do. So the first thing you can do is just grab any of these corners and click and hold and drag. So I can make this square now. It's stretching it out sideways. You'll see the measurements on the side changing. Undo, back to my square. If you click the one in the middle, these little black ones, that will stretch just, instead of a whole corner, it's stretching just one side. And if you grab the one that appears to be in the top middle, right here you can see that line. Notice how I couldn't see it really well, so I adjusted my screen a little bit. I'm going to pan with 2 fingers up to here now, get it right in the middle. This one, the top middle, you can make any object taller and stretch it and rise it up. You'll notice now this is not a square anymore. It used to be a perfect square. Let's say I needed a bigger square. It's very tedious to try to get this to be like 40 by 40 by 40, doing it like this. Don't beat yourself up. There's a much easier way to do it. If you want a perfect square, before you start stretching things, so here I am back at my 20 by 20 square. What you can do is on your keypad, hold down Shift, then click and drag, and watch what happens. It is staying exactly square. You'll notice now it's 60 by 60 on the bottom. If I click on this one, that will also say 60. So it is the exact, it's a perfect cube, just on a much bigger scale than the original one. That's holding down Shift. Another thing you can do, you can rise and sink any piece. So if you look on top, you'll see this little black cone. If you click on it, you can make it go and kind of like levitate and be a little bit higher than the surface. And then you can rise it back down the same way. Click on the cone. I believe there's a way you can do it on your keypad too. Control and down and control and up. Sink and rise it on the keypad. If you want it to get stuck to the bottom, exactly, let's say I'm looking at this from my orthographic view, which I'm in right now. Hit side view. I want to get this stuck to the bottom. Click on this. Instead of trying to hit 0, you can just type in 0 down here. 0, enter, blam. Now it's stuck to the bottom. Another thing that you can do with these, you can rotate any of these shapes that you put on here. So right now you'll see this arrow, curved arrow here. If I touch it and move it, it starts to rotate. Right, you'll see one here too. I can spin it around this way. There's actually one over here, but I cannot see it because I'm at a weird view. So if I just slightly turn, so I'm looking at like the 3/4 view, or hit this little corner up here. I like this view a lot because now you're seeing 1, 2, 3 ways to rotate this square. So this one here will rotate it this way. There's always 3 ways to rotate something. It gets a little confusing sometimes because if you're rotating and you pull the arrow up too high, you can see how it's going 1 degree at a time, which is accurate, but it's hard to get it to go like right to 90. You might get 91 or 88, and it's not exactly what you want. So bring this inside here, close to the center point, and you'll see how it jumps to like standard measurements. So now I've turned it exactly 90 degrees. So it works that way for all of them too. I rarely use this out here. When I turn something, I usually turn it at a standard measurement. So I keep it inside 45-degree angle. So that's how to rotate things.